Hey everybody, this video brings us out to, I don't know, Norristown, Pennsylvania. That's what my GPS says, but maybe Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. As per usual, I'm questioning what my GPS says. I don't really think we're in Norristown. I think if anything, we're closer to Valley Forge, because Valley Forge is literally right there. The Valley Forge National Historical Park is right across 422, that major highway right there. So I'm gonna say Valley Forge. I have no idea. Actually, what I should say is Port Kennedy. We are back in the forgotten town, the vanished town of Port Kennedy, Pennsylvania, that did once exist right here, but then was swallowed up by the national park and the surrounding towns, and now is no longer a town. So I'm gonna say we're here in Port Kennedy, Pennsylvania. But the reason why we're in Port Kennedy, Pennsylvania is to check out something pretty awesome that I definitely had wanted to come out here to see for a while. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of movies. I am a movie buff. I have a huge movie collection. I love movies. I watch at least 1 or 2 movies every single day. Big movie fan. And there's some movie history right here in the Valley Forge, Pennsylvania area. Between 1912 and 1924, a movie studio is right here, right where I'm walking. We're on a film studio, a movie lot right here. This was Betswood Movie Studio. Pretty awesome. Their actual main headquarters was down in Philadelphia, but their actual movie studio where they shot all the films was right here, right where we're walking. And some of the buildings actually still exist, and there's one of them right here. This is the Lubin Building. Look at this. This is an old 1912 movie studio right here. Pretty awesome. This whole entire land right here, all the way down there, there's actually some new apartments down there. This whole area was just one big film studio. Many other buildings were in the area at one point. They've all been unfortunately knocked down to build those apartments down there. There were, of course, water towers and movie lots and all kinds of stuff. Many silent films shot right here in the Valley Forge, Pennsylvania area. Pretty awesome. And this is one of the old buildings for that studio. Betswood Movie Studios, again, here in the Valley Forge, Norristown, Pennsylvania area. Look at the inside of this place. I wish we could actually get inside here. You can see through the windows. They're kind of fogged out, but pretty awesome, pretty cool. I definitely would love to go inside there and actually see what the inside of this old film studio looks like. Pretty awesome that they actually kept one of the buildings at least. Again, many of them have been torn down. If you see aerial views of what the film studio used to look like, there were many buildings on this property, but now, unfortunately, again, they have pretty much for the most part all been torn down, with the exception of this one here that does still exist. Love the stars on the sides. That is pretty amazing. I believe that's where the like the literal iron rods that go through the building to kind of hold the building together are. I heard somewhere also that like those were to mark like structural points in the building for firemen. Not sure if that's entirely true or not, but I do believe that's where iron rods literally go through the building to kind of hold the walls together. It's still pretty awesome. This place is really cool. 1400, not the year. Not again, 1912 is when this was built. 1912 to 1924. So the actual movie studio existed here, making silent films right here in the Valley Forge, Pennsylvania area. Before Hollywood, there was that Betswood Movie Studio. In fact, Hollywood didn't become a thing until later on. When movies first became a thing, when movies were first being made, they were mostly made here on the East Coast. And it wasn't until people started moving out there and realizing, oh, we have great year-round weather out here, that people started moving out there and studios started moving out there and realizing we could shoot movies all year round if we put our movie studios out in the California area. And that's when all of that started happening, and movie studios started going out to the Hollywood area, and Hollywood became the big area for movies. But for a good while, for a number of years, right when movies were first starting up, most of them are here on the East Coast. Most film studios were on the East Coast and in New York and stuff like that. Look at this. Look at the stucco on the side of this building. You can definitely tell this has some age to it. Just imagine, movie stars were walking through here. Film directors were walking through here at one point. I'm walking through old Hollywood here on the, I say Hollywood, but you know what I mean, old Hollywood here on the East Coast. Pretty awesome. What's all this say? People have wrote all kinds of things. People wrote boob on the, can I write on here? Oh, I could. I'm tempted to write, remember Betswood or something like that. But look at this building. Seriously, this is awesome looking. Look at the steel beam going through there. It's just really cool to think that at one point, this is where movie stars were walking, people going to set, whether it was a director, whether it was a movie star, whether it was a DP, whether it was somebody just grabbing lunch, the catering service, whatever it was, people were here walking around this old movie studio. Long before that highway was ever put in place, long before the park was here. I believe the park actually was here, but it was a state park at that point. It was much smaller state park, and then eventually grew and grew and grew, and then became a national historical park. Pretty awesome. So back here, this here's a trail that actually runs along, I don't know how far this goes. Over there's the Schuylkill River. There's maybe the Schuylkill Trail. I'm not entirely sure, but there's actually a historical sign over here I want to show you guys. Again, look at this. Just imagine how many films were made inside here and on this property that we're actually in right now. Just crazy to think about. Again, as somebody who loves movies and who is a movie buff and a film buff, just thinking that at one point inside these buildings were offices and probably where equipment was stored. I still have a cold, I can't talk today. Where equipment was stored, movie stars were hanging out, maybe eating lunch, taking meetings, doing who knows what, maybe even doing some filming inside these areas. And then out here on this actual property were the movie lots, where westerns were being shot and who knows what else, what other amazing silent movies were being filmed right here in the Valley Forge, Pennsylvania area. And it's really awesome. They actually kept these buildings intact, kept this history here. Even though most of them have been knocked down, most of this property has been turned into either apartments or just been flattened, where nothing has been built yet. I think they had a plan to build a lot more here at one point. I believe at one point this is supposed to be like a whole kind of community thing that we're gonna build here, like an apartment complex community. I don't think that really ever happened quite the way they had envisioned, but really cool they kept these buildings. Look at these, they're so old with this old woodwork. I wanna see inside here. Just look at this. That is awesome. You can see the old stone walls there. I'll flip the camera around for you guys. Look at that. What I wouldn't give to actually be able to go inside. I thought for a second the door was actually opening. I was like, maybe we are gonna go inside. But what I wouldn't give to actually go inside these buildings and just look around and walk where the movie stars and the famous directors at one point for Betzwood Studios used to walk around. So like I said, there is a historical sign here. It says Betzwood Motion Picture Studio, founded by film pioneer Siegmund Lubin in 1912 and later owned and operated by Wolf Brothers, Inc. of Philadelphia, 1917 to 1922. The studio was a site of productions for over 100 films of various genres, with both electric and daylight stages, its own power plant, and a complete processing laboratory. The 350-acre studio was world famous as one of the largest and most advanced studios of its time. That, again, is awesome. So cool. If you've ever been out here, if you have, leave a comment down below. Some of you guys suggested I come out here and take a look at this. It had been on my list of places I'd wanted to visit for a while, just never really got out here. So today I figured, you know what? Again, kind of feeling under the weather today. I'm feeling scared the living heck out of me. So that's what you say. On your left, sir. On your left. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yes, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. I wanted to kind of get out, enjoy the fresh air instead of being cooped up inside my house where I'm just sitting around. With that being said, I am gonna go back to the house and just sit around and try to relax and rest a bit. But wanted to get out, enjoy this beautiful day, and finally take a look at this old 1912 film studio right here, right outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right next to the Valley Forge National Historical Park. Pretty awesome, pretty cool. I'm gonna look inside one more time. Look at that. Just how awesome is that? Again, the stone walls, you see the old wood floors. This says 1912 written all over it. That is just too awesome. How many movie stars were at one point inside here, walking around? How many famous film directors? How many amazing movies were filmed here? It's so cool. All right, so like I said, if you've ever been out here, leave a comment down below. Thank you guys for suggesting this. Like I said, it had been on my list of places I wanted to visit for a while, but a lot of you guys were commenting saying I should get out here. And even though I knew I already wanted to get out here, I figured, okay, you guys have been asking. I'm finally gonna come out to the film studio, do some filming, and shoot this place and show this place off. And as a film buff, as a film nut, I was gonna say film historian. I'm not a film historian. I'm not an anything historian. I always say when you watch my videos, always take them with a grain of salt. I try to get factual information correct for you guys. Sometimes it's correct, sometimes maybe not so much, but I am a film buff and I'm a film lover. Again, I have a huge movie collection. I love watching movies. Every day I try to watch at least one movie every single day. So at least 365 movies a year. But usually it's actually more than that. So I actually have some film history right here, right in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, right outside of Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. It's pretty cool, pretty awesome. I'm gonna walk around front one more time, show you guys the front of the building one last time. Like I said, if you guys have ever been out here, leave comments down below. Look at photos online, if you can, of what this actual property used to look like. There's aerial views and big views of what this place once looked like. And it's pretty awesome. It's pretty expansive, very big. This whole property here, from right here all the way down to where the apartments are, right over there, the river was. There were all kinds of buildings. Like I said, there were film lots. There was a power plant. All kinds of really awesome buildings here that unfortunately no longer exist, have been torn down, lost to time, but at least some of them were kept intact. And I can appreciate that as somebody who loves not only film, but as somebody who loves history. If you're gonna take a place like this and you're going to put in apartments or do whatever you're doing to an area, it is nice to actually keep some of the history alive, keep something like this, keep these buildings here intact for people to come out and see. Granted, I guarantee most people don't come out to this area to look at this. I'm probably one of the few people who've ever been out here thinking, let's go check out the old film studio. But for those of us who do love this kind of thing, for those of us who do love movies, who love film, who love history, it's really awesome that places like this at least keep a little bit of that alive by keeping some of the buildings intact. I can definitely appreciate that. I always hate when I see new apartments come up and there's like an old barn or an old farmhouse or something like that. And they just tear the whole thing down. I'm like, why not keep that? Why not make that like the focal point of your development? Yes, you maybe put like 4 houses in there, I understand, but just like keep the farmhouse, in the center or whatever of your complex as a focal point. Maybe make that the main offices of your apartment complex or whatever, of your housing development, and then build the houses around it. Something like that would be cool. Like, as much as I don't really have any interest in necessarily living in a housing complex, although at some point when I move to Florida, that's probably going to be happening. But even though I'm not the biggest fan of that, I'm more of a just living in town kind of guy, which I do now. If I was to live in a housing complex, in a housing development, I would love to live in one that had an old farmhouse or an old barn or an old movie studio or something like that, an old factory or something that's kind of the focal point of the actual like apartment complex or the housing development or something like that. So, all right, guys, that's it. Just want to give you one last shot of what this looks like from the outside. Pretty awesome, pretty cool. Betzwood Studios here in the Valley Forge / Norristown area, right outside Philadelphia, Port Kennedy, Pennsylvania, the lost town of Port Kennedy, Pennsylvania. All right, guys, look at the weather vane up there. Look at that. How cool are those? All right, so like I said, if you've been out here, leave a comment down below. If you have information on the history of these studios, by all means, leave some information down below. I will try to provide information as well. I gave you guys some information in this video, and I always put information down in the description of this video, but I'd love to hear your guys' stories or information you have or anything you guys want to talk about. Leave comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. So, all right, guys, that's it. Like I said, Betzwood Studios here, the Valley Forge, Norristown, Pennsylvania area. So awesome, so cool. Film history, movie history, pre-Hollywood movie history right here, right outside of Philadelphia. All right, guys, that's it. So, as always, thank you all so much for checking out this video. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Check down below for links to Patreon. If you guys do become a patron, I will send you a postcard every single month from the road. Also, check down below for a link to Spreadshirt, where you can grab yourself retro Rest Stop t-shirts. Proceeds both from Spreadshirt and from Patreon to good help supporting the show, keeping the show going. So I really do appreciate it, guys. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go lie down. I'm probably gonna go home. I'm literally gonna go home. I should say probably. I am literally going to go home, lie down, get some rest. I'm gonna watch a movie. That's what I'm gonna watch. I don't think I have any Betswood movies in my collection. I gotta look into that. I gotta see, because over 100 films shot here. I gotta see what films those were and if any of them are available on DVD. If they are, I'm gonna have to get some of those. Or maybe I actually already have some. I do have a number of silent films in my collection. Maybe some of them were shot here and I did not even realize it. I'm gonna look into that. Maybe I'll watch a Betzwood Film Studio movie today, or maybe not. I don't know. Either way though, I'm gonna go home and watch a movie and rest. So as always, guys, again, like I said, thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you do hit that subscribe button or you are subscribed, then I will see you in tomorrow's video. One last shot. This is awesome. So cool. Beautiful looking building. Love the fact that they actually kept this, did not tear it down. All right, guys, so again, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next video. Have a good one. Bye.